What's going on YouTube? Chronos here and welcome back to another PSO2 video. So I'll be honest, I don't know how long today's video is actually going to be. I don't really have a set complete plan. I mean, I do have somewhat of a script of what I'm going to be doing, but it's mostly going to be freeform like a lot of my other videos are. But today's video, I'm actually going to go ahead and make my 14-star weapon. I'll be making my Atlas weapon. Oh, look, someone decided they're gonna photobomb my video. Lovely. Anyway, so a random person who has no idea they're in a video right now, you are. Either way, let's jump into this. So I want to preface this video with, I guess, just the following, a public service announcement. You do not need to do this. This is not a requirement. There's no reason for you to rush these weapons. We will be getting collection files for all the weapon types that we're going to need. These prices are going to drop. If it had not been for the fact that I make YouTube videos, I would not invest any money in doing this whatsoever. I would just wait until the collection files come out, or until I get lucky and get a drop. I happen to get a couple drops, so I've made quite a substantial amount of money off of doing this. So I can afford to invest a little bit into it. So unless you happen to have just the extra capital, you're pushing damage for, maybe solo reasons, if you're into like solo pushing content, or if you just like being that geared. I mean, there are some people who just enjoy being that geared, and that's totally fine. I'm never going to turn that away. It's up to you. The money is your value. It's, your play style. But this is not something that you absolutely have to go through and do immediately. Most of it is going to be, I don't want to say overkill. This is actually about the same weapon strength that we would have had at this point in time. So we're finally reaching the point where we're leveling out. There's only one weapon currently, or one weapon series current in the game that I don't really understand why it's in the game right now, but it is. But we'll save that for another video. So I've already made one of my two weapons, and I'll show you guys really quick. I went ahead and made my Atlas jet boots first, just because of a supportability they have on them on the S4, which extends the maximum effective shift and D band to 120 seconds, meaning I have 2 minutes on my shift as in D bands. That means it extends it up to, does not mean that it makes my initial tap buff faster. So all this is allowing me to do is I can drop the adrenaline ring from my build, move over to a critical ring normally, always use double weapons, so always use soaring blades and jet boots as you normally should in the first place. And then with that, whenever I'm on my jet boots phase, I have plenty of time to finish up my soaring blades rotation and get back to jet boots before losing shift and or D-band. So it's pretty nice overall. That's why I ended up making these first, but I did go ahead and pick up a Val gunblade. Now, the reason I went ahead and I wanted to record this process specifically is because the process of making an Atlas is not too difficult. Essentially, you just take a Val weapon, you upgrade to plus 35, you pick up a special title, which I'll go ahead and show you guys right now. But if you head over to the title counter, there will be a title waiting for you once you get this Val weapon to plus 35. It can be any of the Val weapons to plus 35. I got this from beating the boss, whatever. I forgot to pick this up, but it'll be under your other titles, but it will give you a stone. That means currently in the game we have access to a stone for story completion, which we won't get yet. We'll get that when we get through the story itself. We have access to a stone from the mission pass, which if you haven't been working on, go ahead and keep working towards it. Not saying that you need to buy a bunch of amounts of the mission pass itself. Again, just wait, we'll get there. You also get one for getting 600 titles, and then you get the one for grinding the weapon to plus 35. So we have 4 of them totally available to us that we're going to be able to get. Apparently you can also get them as drops out of the new urgent quest, but I wasn't that lucky, so we're only going to be making 2 of these today, and then I'll be sitting on them moving forward. I'm making a third weapon, but that's just for bouncer purposes, and for those of you guys who are bouncers and want to know, I'll be making another weapon that is an ice weapon specifically for fighting dragon, and then in the future to use to element change around whenever I need a different element specifically. Well, I guess dragon and fall egg for the solo challenge, but that's besides the point. Either way, let's go ahead and jump into what we're going to be doing. So there's a few things that we're doing here in this situation that introduces some cool tech that's been added into the game with these escort abilities. So escort abilities essentially have a new way or a new feature of being able to move between the 2 weapons. You can actually select 2 weapons with escort abilities. It does not matter how many augments they have on them, but you can swap the abilities from one to the other. So for example, if I say select my gun slash and select my boots, you can see that because this gun slash has S grade 1 through 3 available, it shows all of the S grade 1s, or the S grade abilities, or S grade augments available to me. I can select them. If I were to say, let's go back. If I select my gun, or my jet boots, and then my gun blade, because my jet boots are the first one that pops up, I have 1 through 4 available. I can select anything that's 1 through 4. Now granted, I don't have an S3 on this right now. We'll get to that in a moment, but basically you can kind of just slot in these spots. S grade abilities are very useful. You almost never want to leave them empty. Actually, I can't really think of a situation where you would rather leave them empty other than very, very specific niche situations of trying to cut certain corners if you're just out of money in certain cases. But you always want to fill these up. Their effects in almost every situation are going to end up being stronger overall than the other augment types. The nice thing about them is whenever you're affixing, if say you pick a weapon and you affix another weapon that has an S grade ability on it, it also transfers the S grade ability onto the other weapon itself at a 100% affix rate. And if you have any weapons with S grade augments on them already and you're upslotting them, they're always 100%. So even while upslotting, you still have a 100% chance for that to go through, meaning you have less slots that can possibly fail, making the upslot process on weapons that much easier. That's why a lot of, if you've been following any other content creators on YouTube that have been talking about the S grade augments being such an awesome thing, that's a lot of reasons why they tell people to wait, and why I've told people to wait, because this system makes it a lot easier for you to get those stronger weapons without feeling as punishing. Now, for the record, I will not be augmenting these weapons until a boost week, specifically because I'm going to push this to an 8 slot and then just toss a bunch of augments on it. Since 4 of those slots will be taken up by S grade augments, the other 4 I'll have to fit in will just be SAF abilities, but I'll talk about that when that actually comes around and how I'll be doing it. But for today, we're going to be making a set of soaring blades, which you're probably thinking, well, you have a gun slash, why are you making soaring blades? So there's 2 things I actually do with this gun slash. First off, its augment factor is an S1 ability, aggressive will, which is not the actual augment I thought it was. So this is actually kind of a fail. I'll actually be having to go back into this and fix this, but absorbs 2% of damage dealt. I was thinking was something completely different. And now I'm questioning why I even put this on my weapon and why I didn't actually pay closer attention to this. This is why you should always pay closer attention to these things. Yeah, absorbs 2% of damage dealt. Absorbs 2% of damage dealt. Is it trying to say you take 2% less damage? Because this type of wording is usually only reserved for absorbs 2% of damage dealt as something specifically. Could have sworn. You know what? Well, let me look at something else too, because it actually concerns me a little bit. Maybe it's a typo. When I mentioned this was going to be very freeform, I was not kidding. No, it is different. Precision will is critical damage. Okay. Well, that was a mistake, an unfortunate one actually, but it is totally fine. I'll have to look into a different S1. We'll see while we're doing this on the market. Aggressive will is one of them, which is the one I think I'm using right now, which is just, yeah, absorbs 2% of damage dealt, which is weird. Lucian Grace, what are you? PP recovery speed increases. PP recovery. Either way, I'll figure out what I'll be doing with these moving forward. I'm not 100% sure just yet, and actually kind of slightly regretting even making these just yet in the first place, but let this go as a lesson to you, hopefully. Yeah, okay, I have an S3. I have an S2. Okay, that's good. We'll put that away for now, actually. But either way, so the reason why I was using the gun slash in the first place, the gun blade itself, and I'll use this as an example, but I'm not going to say this is what you really want to do specifically. But a nice little trick that you can do with these weapons are they have augment factors, where their augment factors in most cases are special or S grade augments. So for example, the Atlas jet boots, their S grade augment is the S4. For other weapons, I'll have a ton of them. I'm probably going to link in the video description to the wiki itself so you guys can check them out. but they have special ability factors, or SAS for short, and that's what I'm going to be calling them moving forward. They have SAFs that can be S-grade augments, or SSAs for short. That's just the Japanese. I think they're called super special abilities on JP servers. I'm just going to call them SSAs for short because there's way too many things to say all at once. But the SAFs can be SSAs, and if they're SSAs, that means that they will stay on the weapon permanently. So what you can do, and what I was doing beforehand, before I realized aggressive will wasn't as strong as I wanted it to be, you can take the SSA and you can transfer it onto another weapon. And then when you transfer it onto another weapon, it's basically there permanently, even when augmenting. So what I had done was I took the SSA off of this weapon, transferred onto this weapon here, then changed it over to an Atlas weapon. So I upgraded it from a Val weapon to an Atlas weapon. And then I augmented it again. I mean, I just used junk augments. So it wasn't really anything important. But because this was plus 35, it unlocked its other SAF, being its S4. So I was able to put that on there as an option. And because this is also an SSA, it stayed on here at 100%, meaning I was able to have access to both of these. So what we're going to do here is we're going to upgrade this weapon into an Atlas weapon. It's then going to have access to its S4 ability as an SAF, because right now its SAF is an S1 ability. It's going to have access to its S4 ability because it'll be an Atlas weapon. I will then do a just junk affix, and we'll see that we'll have access to the S4 ability. Then we're going to take that weapon and we're going to do another process that was added into the game, which is called a weapon category transfer, where we're going to take a gun blade and turn it into a soaring blade by adding in more materials. So you guys are going to see the process right now. So the first thing we need to do is upgrade this weapon into...
What's the good word?
Oh, excuse me. We're going to upgrade this weapon into an Atlas weapon. So go to Gunblade, head over to Atlas. I need to unlock the weapon first. And also, it looked like my gold Neo was kind of low, and I don't remember if maybe I actually accidentally sold some more gold Neo than I meant to.
What's the good word?
We may have to buy some, which is a bit expensive right now, so I'm not too happy about that. Yeah, my gold Neo is low. I need to go buy gold Neo, which is... let me double check and make sure I can't make any gold Neo. Gold Neo.
Welcome.
I can make plenty of gold Neo.
Thank you very much. I look forward to your next visit.
Is that what they really... I thought they were using gold rim. Wait a second. Did I misread that? If so, I'm sitting on a lot of money.
What's the good word?
Tell me I misread that. No, it's gold Neo. 100%. I'm sitting on a lot of money, actually. Okay. We'll go into that later. But anyway, let's make this weapon. So we're making this Val Gunblade along with the Chrono Stone, 1000 Goldian, 1000 Sapphire into an Atlas weapon. And like I mentioned beforehand, when you upgrade these weapons, they retain their original elemental percentage as well as all of their augments. So we'll hit yes. And now we have an Atlas Gunslash. So what are we going to do with that? We're going to grab some junk affix weapons that I held on to. That's a 7 slot. Go here. 7 slot as well. So 2 7 slots. Let's grab some ability chance just in case it gets a little annoying. It shouldn't, but you never know.
I'm gonna give it my best shot.
I know you will. Don't worry, I know you will. You just have to mind my voice at the moment. It's not exactly at its best. I talk for a living as well as talking for videos, as well as talking on stream, so at times my voice starts to wane a bit. But as you can see, when we look at the augment, we'll go ahead and do it again. When I highlight this alone, you'll see that lifesteal is an option, as well as aggressive will, because it's always going to be 100%. It remains on the weapon, and Lucian Strike, which is already here. Because these are S-grade augments, or SSAs, I think they're calling them SGAs on global, which I'm not a huge fan of, but that's more so probably the fact that I'm just used to calling them SSAs. I'm going to take advantage of the fact I have a few options here. No, that's actually a waste of a plus 30 or plus 40, but I have the X cubes to back it up. So again, this is one of those say do what I say, not what I do. You really want to just put junk affixes on here, but I'm going to just take advantage of the fact that some of these augments I actually do want. Oh, I chose enhance. So we'll grab this. As we can see, lifesteal is now an option because that's the SSA. Also, that's the SAF, which is an SSA. I'm gonna grab this because I mean it's useful. Let's see what else can we get that's of use. Spirit 3 is of use. Story of Soul is useful. Is there anything else useful, or can we just put poison on here? Mastery is all plus 15. Or poison level 1. Story of Soul. Might 3. Spirit Mastery. We'll do that. Not exactly amazing, but oh wait, hang on a second. I chose Mastery 3. Oh no, I'm definitely not using Mastery. Let's just use Poison. Poison's fine. If we can proc a poison occasionally, it's not a bad choice. Oh, that might screw up some Luther runs. I don't really care. Toss plus 4 to just make this even. So like I mentioned, we're basically just tossing junk affixes on here, nothing too important.
I did it! That's what I call a big success!
Again, say do as I say, not as I do, but now we have an Atlas weapon.
Don't be a stranger, okay?
That's got aggressive will, which doesn't really matter. Apparently I thought that was something else for some reason, I don't know why. Lucian Strike, which is just kind of a slot to fill at the moment. This S4 here, I'm probably going to swap out this poison with an S3. Oh, you know what? I am going to swap out that poison with an S3. I forgot I had one sitting waiting for me.
Ooh, I'm gonna give it my best shot!
Now, we're going to go and grab you. We've got a Lucent Strike S3 as well.
Okay?
Again, kind of overkill. But it's better than the poison I have sitting here, so we're just going to fill up the slots. That just looks better. No. Only a madman would put a soul last. Okay, so we're going to lose the poison, which is fine. Also, this is going to down slot. So, just so you guys are kind of aware of what's going to happen here, right? So, because we're moving the S3 off of this weapon and we're not putting another SSA on the weapon itself, we're going to end up in a situation where here we have more options that we can put on here because we're adding an SSA. As you can see, we don't have enough slots to fill all of it, meaning we're going to lose poison. It'll warn you that it's going to be destroyed. And here we have less options because we're not transferring an SSA over, meaning we're also going to lose a slot here. That's not really a big deal. That was the intention. We're just moving Lucent Strike over.
Success! Thank goodness.
So this weapon is now mostly useless to us. I don't believe it has a decent SAF. Let's double check. Actually, we can use it as Lucent Grace to transfer over and over again. So one thing you can do with some of these is you can actually just upgrade them plus 35 to unlock their SAF and then do a light affix on them with some junk to get their augment onto them and then transfer it onto other weapons over and over again. If you happen to get a good Val weapon that has a useful SAF on it that you want to use, then that's an option for you as well. Alternatively, you can also just make an Atlas Gunslash and then continuously transfer over lifesteal and then re-affix over and over again to all the other weapons you want to use it on. So that's an option as well. Probably something I'll do in the future, but I'm going to go ahead and now show you guys how to change this into another weapon. So Zeke's got an option now. It's literally called the change weapon category. This is used pretty commonly now moving forward for a lot of weapons that'll be coming out, 15 stars and so on. But you can swap your Gunslash into any other weapon you want to use. So for example, we want Soaring Blades. So we're gonna click on Soaring Blades. Click on Exchange. Now, oh, we do have to pay a premium really quick. Hang on a second. So you do have to usually pay the premium of whatever currency was needed to make the weapon originally. In this case, it's Goldnia and Sapphire.
Welcome.
So we'll head over here, make some more Goldnia. We have so much materials,
Thank you
actually.
very much.
I'm so surprised we have a bunch of these. I'm gonna sit here and probably make a bunch of this and then sell all of it. I wish I hadn't realized I had so much of this or I'd been selling it sooner, because I'm pretty sure Goldnia is selling for like 8k a piece right now, but
What's the good word?
I'm sure when this video comes out, people are going to realize what I'm doing, and then they're probably going to do the same thing. So prices might go down a bit. The downside of making YouTube content. Either way, we're going to turn this into a gun slash. It's going to retain everything it had previously.
Buy.
And we've got it. Also going to turn off our weapon camo. And there it is. Our Atlas gun slash. I'm sorry, our Atlas soaring blades. Now, again, not crazy powerful weapons right this very second. These also don't have any augments on them. They're going to get better. The thing about it is the lifesteal on here is pretty powerful. And I also did technically forget one thing I wanted to put on this weapon, which I can go ahead and move on to it right now really quick. Because I did keep this on deck. Where are you? Yes. We do have a precision wheel to use to go ahead and move on to this weapon. We'll go ahead and take care of that right now. So it does have a bit more damage, but you can kind of see now how having a hold of these weapons really means you have access to being able to really customize the weapons you're using. That still doesn't look right. I'm gonna do it this way. Be a madman for a while. As you can see, because we're moving the S grade augment between the two weapons, it'll continue to keep its regular amount, so it's kind of nice as far as slottage is concerned. So you'll never really run out of these weapons, and as long as you're augmenting them, you'll always have access to them. So we're gonna toss these into default storage. That's where I'm storing that stuff there, and lock this weapon. As you can see, even just base damage wise, between these two weapons, not a ton. Mostly because this one's augmented with 125 power. This one's augmented with 30. I'm not going to do a bunch of augments on this right now just because I'd have to make fodder for it, and it's not the easiest thing to make fodder for. I really don't want to lose a bunch of money on, or spend a bunch of X cubes on making fodder, but as far as the weapon goes, it's not a bad choice overall. Pretty powerful. Has extra damage. I'm not sure that it's going to push it above my Nemesis, to be perfectly honest, looking between the two weapons because of what I have on it, but it is going to have that lifesteal, which is very, very nice. It does have that precision will, and once I'm able to replace this one here and replace this here with useful damage skills, it will make it stronger. So just things to keep in mind. Utility is important, and of course this is just beautiful. Anyway guys, hopefully that was helpful. Hopefully that gives you guys an idea of what to do when you're making your weapons itself. Now again, keep in mind, this is not something you need to rush towards. I only made this specifically for this video. I actually even invested some of Star Gems in my mission pass to go ahead and cap it out to get this extra, or to go ahead and pick up the extra material needed to make this weapon. Again, not necessary at all. Take your time, grind towards it slowly. You'll have it before you know it. Anyway guys, a like of the video is much appreciated, and absorbs you half for your ad block guilt, and the other half is resolved by subscribing. Both are completely free and do help me out a ton. Any questions you might have, you can toss in the video description below. I'm sorry, in the comments below. I'll be posting any applicable links in the video description, or do my best to add to them as I find them. Of course, if liking or subscribing isn't really your thing, oh, excuse me, I would hope not. Or I would hope it would be, because it's totally free, but it is super helpful. But you can always press the bell notification, or press the bell icon to get notified of when videos go live. That's not really your thing either. You can always jump into Discord to notify you whenever we go live when streaming, as well as follow me over on Twitter. You guys can see I haven't got a ton of sleep, so I'm gonna probably go take a nap now. Take care, everyone. Peace out.